We'll begin the day. Maroon and white notebook, very common thing. And the final Directors' Cup standings are in. It's supposed to be, I think, a reflection or maybe measure the strength of your athletic department. I've always questioned that no matter where A&M is finished or any team is finished because, they pick the teams. A&M finished 12th overall. Outstanding. 12 might not to some, others think great, depends on your perspective. The year that was for Aggie Athletics, 17 of its 19 programs went to the postseason last year. Take that statement, absorb it for a second. 17 of its 19 programs went to the postseason last year. Please tell me. And we know Mark Weaver, women's tennis, national championship, second in 3 years. Of course, volleyball had the death row march to bring home its first national championship. They took down 3 number 1 seeds. They got a path that a fellow number 1 seed probably couldn't have made it through. And they didn't just win the national championship. They kind of dominated at the end, didn't they? No fluke. They got lucky. You can't get lucky and beat 3 number 1 seeds. They did ownage. What did the kids say at one time? Ponage. They dominated their way through at the end. So A&M, and the word I always use is participation. They didn't just, they made 17 out of 19 postseason. They have 2 natties in there too. That was the year they had. So 12, not elite, 12, really, really good. Is it great? Don't care. I look at 17 out of 19 participated in the postseason with 2 national championships. My reaction is, holy heck, it was a great year. Not sure your vibe on that. If you want to text and share, you tell me. And again, I would have had to downgrade my emotion, but 2 national championships? Absolutely. Great year. Outstanding year. I still can't go into the elite category of my feeling. If you want me to go into I'm going to run through a paper mache wall, break a whiskey bottle over my head and punch a puppy vibe, big 3. Someone needs to bring it home. That's the final step, the final evolution. I've talked about it, so I'm not going to beat it to death. I will, but just not all at once. But still, you get the point. That's the final step. I feel like with Aggie Athletics, everything else is happening. Everything else is actually there. It's not happening. Everything else is there, but the big 3. They're taking their steps. It seems to be a work in progress. 17 of 19. Made it to the postseason. 2 national championships. Others contended. So everything else is there. Not about to, kind of, sort of. They're there. Big 3. One of them. All 3 if they want to. I wouldn't stop them, but one of them. It feels like football's the closest, but due to the nature of and if they keep expanding the playoff, it's just going to get harder. But due to the nature of the college football playoff, that might be the hardest one. Oklahoma showed you they didn't have a single transfer, pitcher. All true freshmen freshman designation started in the College World Series. Baseball, I feel like, has the most paths to winning a national championship. You can do it with all high school kids. You can do it with all portal. There's a million ways. Okay, there's multiples. Basketball's tricky, sticky. There's many ways to make a run. I don't know if there's many ways to actually win a national championship. In the end, it always feels the exact same. But there's many ways to make a regional final. I feel like there's many ways to play deep into the second weekend. I don't know how many there is to actually win it all, though. That final step seems narrow in basketball. I don't see, there's 4 different type of teams that win national championships. That statement doesn't feel true. There are about 3 different ways a team can make a regional final, though, or even a Final Four, but not win at all. So basketball feels the closest, but that's the most difficult, because even once you make the college football playoff, you realize now in the modern version of football, you went through the whole regular season, which is September, October, November, 3 months for seeding. That's it. You went for seeding. Because you only have home field, if you get a bye, for 0. So you don't even get home field. Now you go play in the bowls, neutral sites. You don't even have home. Oh, but you get to choose a regional bowl. So hopefully more of your fans can attend. But it costs so much, only so many of your fans can afford it. All the rest are going to go to, local businesses and stuff, and they're not even your fans. So yes, home region, but still home fans can only afford so much. Then you're playing a month-long tournament that you have to stay healthy. Even with your seeding, you play easier teams, but it's really about matchups as much as it is about, and you have to hope you're playing your best ball at the right time. If you're dinged up, what if you get injured after your first playoff game? There's so much that goes into it. And it's like in the NFL or NHL, any of these month to 5 week long tournaments, you can just get injured, an injury, or one bad weekend. That's all. Football's the hardest one to win. I feel like with the NCAA basketball tournament, A, there's only kind of like 2 type of teams, and B, 2 games in a weekend's tough. The reset, though, in between is nice. And that's your regular playing of 2 games a week anyway, so it's not irregular. But no, I know normally it's not 2 and 3 days. I don't know. Do you see how the postseasons work? Which of the 3 do you think is the toughest postseason? Do you think it's football, basketball, or baseball? Which do you think is the toughest postseason? I think it's football by far now with the new structures, which football will make harder as they keep expanding. More games. And again, this is after you already played 12 in the regular season. Conference championship 13. Most teams are already more fatigued. And that's why they're putting more games off in the playoffs to allow you to recover, allegedly. Anyway, A&M 12. I've never cared about the Director's Cup. When your water polo team can get you like the same number of points as your football team, I don't like it. CBS Sports, somewhere in the next 2 weeks, is going to release it, and they don't call it a cup. It's just athletic department power rankings. They're closer to right. Not going to say they're 100% because they do weight the points to a degree, and they have an at-large category. And as opposed to counting every Olympic sport, so the West Coast teams get to count kayaking, you only get to count like 2 of them and they're still weighted. I feel like that one's better. We'll talk about it when it comes out. So the 12, well done. 17 of 19 programs went to the postseason. 2 natties. One last step for elitehood in the way I view kind of the system. Well done. It was a great year. If you want to share your reflection, was it elite for you? Was it great for you? Was it very good for you? Was it fine for you? You could text. You know that. 979-693-1150. We move on in the maroon and white notebook. Some honors, awards, baseball being handed out. Monday we wrapped up the Natty. OU. 7 straight years for the SEC. OU picked 14th preseason to finish in the SEC. Finished 14-16 in league. 0-1 in Hoover. Many other leagues and teams argued, why are they even in there? You're national champions. Nico Pertida, first team freshman All-American by Baseball America. And remember, banged up down the stretch. D1 baseball, second team All-Americans, Gavin Grahovic, Caden Sorrell. And they too, a little dinged up down the stretch, right? Aggie basketball. Kind of Luke Evangelist had this, and we kind of talked about it. I don't know if we mentioned it yesterday, Tuesday. This week is starting to blur. It's been busy, and it's been fun. So The days, Monday through Wednesday of this week, seems like it was one day. But OU is not a mirror. This is official. The SEC office sent out an email. So this is the official A&M basketball, buckyball conference schedule, home away. We don't have the days and times yet. But the mirrors are LSU, Texas, Vanderbilt this year. So you lost OU at their best, fringe, at best. Fringe NCAA tournament team, fringe NIT. Reality, bottom 5 team in the league. Added Vanderbilt, top 5 team in the league. Brutal upgrade. So LSU, Texas, Vanderbilt. LSU hired Will Wade, who they already had to fire because he was caught in an FBI tape talking about paying players. And they hired him back because it's LSU. If you wrote this fictional university, like Blue Chips or something, and you wrote just the truth of LSU, you would say that movie's too fake. That's the truth. LSU, Texas, Vanderbilt are the mirrors. Your home schedule. You should buy tickets to this. This is an incredible home schedule. You have LSU, Texas, Vanderbilt, all at Reed. Bama, Arkansas, Auburn, OU, Georgia, Tennessee. That is a great home schedule. LSU, Texas, mixed in with Bama, Arkansas, Auburn. Georgia, it doesn't strike you as a basketball name. They played hoop last year. Tennessee, big-time hoop school. The road schedule, LSU, Texas, Vandy, and then at Florida, Doe, at Kentucky, oh no. You go to both the Mississippi schools. I've never understood why they're not broken up, so why you don't get one Mississippi team at home and one Mississippi on the road each year, and then 3 Mississippi, 4 Now I'm just counting. Never mind. Missouri at, brutal place to play, and out at South Carolina. That is Aggie Hoops, Buckyball, their schedule, Conference SEC. And we know they're non-con, so shortly I would expect, well, we don't have days and times. A&M SEC League has a brutal schedule for the upcoming year. But good news, you got Bucky. You have one of the best just coaches as your head coach in the SEC. And I mean tactical, game day, in-game. But also, they got players. I'm fascinated to see this team in action. Not sure about you. Let's grab a timeout. Let's come back. 3 minutes, 42 seconds, something like that. We're just beginning. It is the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. That's CC Electric. It is the Louis Bellina Show. I'm going to go with Thursday on the Zone.
Make sure to get the podcast of TexAgs Live, the Louis Bellina Show, or Chip Howard Sports Talk Daily at zone1150.com and everywhere you get your podcasts.
The Louis Bellina Show. Just getting started. The Louis Bellina Show. I'm inside the Charles Schwab studio. Where else would I be? I got air conditioning, and it's free, and it works, and it's comfortable. Still to come, 12 o'clock Coach G World Cup, 1 o'clock Rusty Burson, Aggie historian and author. Maroon and White Universe. Let's all just live into it. Again, Louis Bellina Show. My friend, the Charles Schwab studio. Low cost, full service, local. You know I'm talking about Mark Sim. He is our Charles Schwab branch right here in College Station. And with Mark Sim, with Charles Schwab, you get to experience a modern approach to wealth management. Go find Mark online. Go get more info. Go get answers to your questions. Just learn more at schwab.com/College Station. Charles Schwab and Company Incorporated, member SIPC. Our first text of the day comes from Sean on campus. It says, Lou, in no way are you an idiot. I'm a regular listener and I'm really smart and stuff, and I wouldn't listen to an idiot. Sean, there's an army of people that would rise up to argue with you on that one. That I appreciate the kind words. There's people who will fight you on that. I mean, hand to hand with machetes. But thank you for the kind words. Maroon and White Notebook, how we begin our day on the Louis Bellina Show. Saturday, down south, did their top 5 wide receivers for the upcoming, year. And since it's Saturday down south, that's the SEC. It's the top 5 wide receivers in the SEC. They said Cam Coleman at Texas is 4, which fascinated me right off the bat. And I say that because most rankings of wide receivers in the country have Cam Coleman in the top 3. Not the SEC, the country. So I thought that was bold cotton, that they would put Cam Coleman at 4 in the league, where he's top 3 in the country. See how those two things seem to be in contrast to each other. I think Cam Coleman might win the Heisman with Arch Manning, putting those two together. Cam Coleman was a bad, bad man who played with horrifically bad quarterbacks. We'll see. But I didn't bring it up because of Cam Coleman. At number 2, Mario Craver, Texas A&M. I said we're in the maroon and white notebook, not the burnt orange notebook. Mario Craver, Texas A&M. I love Mario Craver. He was a magnificent, scary, deadly playmaker. But two things kind of held him back. Marcel Reed and injury kind of held him back. When I say Marcel Reed, don't freak out. We know that Marcel A. had those stretches of a game where he just missed open plays, whether he didn't see it or he threw behind or just didn't throw the ball sometimes. I mean, none of that is a revelation. That's not even an attack. That's facts. And with a Mario Craver, just give him the ball. Don't overthink it. Don't see him short and go, I need to see his 50 yards downfield. The definition of a big play is the end result. It's not how far it is in the air. And with a Mario Craver, just get him to space. Just he is electric. He's a playmaker. Give him a step. That's kind of all he needs. And then when Craver got hurt in the last month, it shrunk his numbers. But Saturday Down South says that Mario Craver is the second best, and then we'll call it heading into the season. And I have no beef with that. Huge Mario Craver fan, without a doubt. Maroon and white notebook, Aggie football, we continue. Rivals showed they had a little infographic, and you know I'm an infographic junkie. Infographic, it's huge, it's in color. You don't have to squint. Top committed Texas recruits. A&M has number 3 and 5. That O-line, 2 5-star offensive linemen, and Kennedy Brown is the number 3 top committed Texas recruit. And then the safety, Jaquan Snell, is the 5th highest rated in the state. That's why it's top committed Texas recruits. And just so you'll know, there's only 3 5-stars that are committed so far in the state. And that's one service. And this always comes back to, I've talked about this before, like, how do you see each service has X number of 5 stars? It fluctuates, and consensus seems to be the best way to go. But A&M has the 3rd and 5th highest graded, committed Texas recruit. And that's according to Rivals. Elko is building. And I come back to something, I think I mentioned with Tony Catalina yesterday, that CBS top 6 programs for the second half of this decade. And I think A&M is in every bit of position to be one of those top 6 programs. Currently, A&M, if we're doing top 10, I think everyone would agree safely, everyone, national, regional, people that study the game, that A&M is probably in the 6 to 10 category. But to be in the top 5 category, A&M might not be there yet, but they're so trending. That seems to be the destiny right now with Elko. I don't know of a lot of people that would argue that. Maroon and white, unless they're Longhorns or idiots. Maroon and white notebook, Aggie basketball. I got to listen in for you right now. PJ Haggerty, one of the, so electric and exciting players, top leading returning scorer in the country, met with the media. That was with Bucky, of course, on Tuesday. Here's what he had to say.
What were some of the biggest factors of why you chose to come here to A&M out of the portal?
I would say the play style. Coach Bucky was the first one that called me, told me how I fit in the system. They up and down a lot, transition. I like to play a lot in transition. So yeah, and it's close to home. Hour and 30 from the crib, so things like that.
Being close to home, just how cool is that? And how cool would it be to have so much family and friends around you, being able to
It's been amazing. I mean, the other schools I went to was far, so a lot of my family was able to come. But now an hour and a half, a lot of my family be able to come and show a lot of love and support.
So for anybody who hasn't maybe seen you play, how would you describe your game?
How would I describe my game? I would say 3-level scorer. I mean, I can score at all levels, I would say, but get my teammates involved, get to the paint, make plays for my other teammates, and just being a leader, trying to win.
And then what would be your observations of the group as a whole so far as y'all gotten started this spring practice?
I would say we got a lot of different things. I say we're versatile. We got bigs, shooters, guards, defense. So we got a lot of great weapons.
How would you say you fit into the system?
I would say great. I mean, I can control the pace of the game, get my teammates involved. Got a lot of shooters I can hit. Big man I can double off to. So it's got to fit pretty good.
And when you talk about Bucky's style of play, did you catch any games last year? And was there a moment when you watched them play where you're like, hey, I could sit in this room?
Oh yeah, actually I watched a lot during their season. I watched when they played U of H, Florida, at Alabama. There's a lot of games I've seen where it was high paced. It was like 100 plus. So things like that fit my play style, I would say, very fast. So yeah.
Last year they rolled a lot of, it was a heavy rotation. They used a lot of guys. Do you feel like there's that same amount of depth that y'all could almost do line changes, or do you feel like it's going to be focused amongst a few players?
Oh no, I say we got a team full of everybody. Like I said, we got people that can do a lot of things. So I think a lot of rotation, a lot of people at different spots. So it'll be fun to see.
What were some of the connections that you had to the program when you were being recruited, and just maybe how that played into the recruitment process to you coming here?
Oh yeah, I know. Coach Frank recruited me. Coach Buzz. Not Coach Buzz. Coach Bucky. They recruited me throughout the whole thing, and just them knowing them, getting the feel for them, and them just saying like how it fit in the program. And a lot of other coaches called me. I know Coach Darby. I was out with Memphis, shrimp coach, things like that. Ari. Played with him at Tulsa. Tyshawn played with him at Tulsa. There's a lot of I would say family oriented, so things like that.
What are maybe one or two things in your game you'd like to maybe elevate this year? Maybe you're kind of focused on this offense.
I would say defense. Try to speed up ball handlers, and just being more like a playmaker and not just scoring the ball. Being able to get my teammates the ball.
Made quite a few stops during the career. Just, I guess, the first few months and in that first year, just what are some of the biggest impacts you try and put on a program?
Win. I would say that's the first thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you can do a lot of things in basketball, but if you don't win, it don't really matter. So just trying to put my blueprint on winning.
You said you played with Tyshawn, right?
Yeah.
Just what does he sort of bring to A&M?
Quick, shifty guard, can shoot off the dribble, electric, athleticism, does a lot for us.
I think you were the first player to commit out of the portal for A&M this last year. What was it like seeing the whole portal class come together, and just maybe how involved were you in the process of guys trying to come here and whatnot?
Oh yeah, on my visit I was up here with Bryson and Mac. We talked a lot throughout the whole process. And I talked to Tyshawn, a lot of other players, and we just all got together, re-shooting. We just got together, we just want to win at the end of the day. So yeah.
What do you like about Bryson's game that you've seen so far?
He can shoot it. I would say shoot out a high clip. You can pass it to him. He's ready to shoot. And he's a great leader too.
You said you kind of fit this style of play. You like to get up and down. Do you ever run up and down as much with the team previously that you are now?
Nah, never. This is probably the most up and down I ever played. When I first got here, he was pick up even with a miss. So usually you run back to the other side. I think he stopped the whole practice. Was nah, you got to pick up. And I was like, I bet. So then just get used to playing full court defense, things like that. Yeah, it's fun.
Anything else for people? All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate y'all.
PJ Haggerty, one of the so talented Aggie basketball players. Again, he is the leading scorer returning in the nation. Part of, I don't know how to call it. They don't have a name yet, but the group, I think great things potentially. They're ranked about 26 to 30 in the way too early polls. Their upside is closer to 10 than 20, in my opinion. When we return up next, all week long, the NCAA D1 cabinet has approved, voted unanimously changes to college football. And I don't know if these are things going to happen, because if you take a look at the past 4 or 5 years, there's been a lot of proposed changes. There's been a lot of things that are voted on. And then the SEC says no. The Big Ten says no. There's a lawsuit that says no. But we'll take a look at the future, ? of college football. This is the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, Thursday on The Zone.
The Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Don't ask unless you want the truth, because you can't handle the truth. Weekdays, 11 to 2 on The Zone.
The Louis Bellina Show. I'm Louis Bellina. Hi, hello, and welcome. Summertime, summer edition. Don't forget, you can text me, 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile and Loop Express inbox. Also, a reminder, the ticket booth is open thanks to Dixie Tire Company. Every single hour, summer vacation. Family 4-packs to Hawaiian Falls, Splashway, water park and campgrounds, and Moody Gardens. Listen in to win, and how and what, I don't know. Just listen in to win. I'll throw up the bat signal when it's time. Be prepared. That's my best advice. Dixie Tire Company, family owned. Dixie Tire Company is your authorized Mastercraft and Cooper tire dealer. They carry a wide selection of certain brands of custom wheels. They have auto accessories, truck lift kits. Dixie Tire Company has been serving Bryan College Station, I think it's 36 going on 37 years now. They've been around. That's Dixie Tire Company. Wanted to go over, share, just think out loud with you about the changes coming, to college football. Why? Well, the D1 cabinet this week has been passing all kinds of reform. Now, the exact process, I'm a little hazy, like, okay, the D1 cabinet's passed this, the FBS committee has proposed these changes, and a lot of it sounds incredible. It's logic-based. It's things you've been crying for, I've been crying for, that coaches have been crying for. But once it gets proposed and once the cabinet votes to adopt, I'm pretty sure it has to go to 2 more committees. I don't think any of this matters whatsoever, because the way it's all set up, college football is run by the SEC and ACC. Nothing happens unless they both approve it, not just one. The other leagues' votes combined do not trump the SEC and the Big Ten. And that's not Lou being a smart aleck. That was actually agreed upon. The NCAA cannot dictate college football. They run their own championships. They run football. They were given that autonomy kind of governance. We know that it's really now an ESPN Fox thing. It's not even an SEC Big Ten thing. So all of this sounds amazing. I'll share with you. Early in the week, this all started when the NCAA D1 cabinet unanimously voted to adopt an age-based eligibility rule. The policy will start an athlete's clock 2 ways. 1, you enroll in college, 5 for 5. Once the start of the academic year after your 19th birthday, that's the second way. So 2 ways for the clock starts. Once it does, 5 for 5. You can play all 5 years. There's no more 4 games, keep a year. I believe there's no more shirts, medical or red, or any kind of shirts. 5 for 5, 5 for 5, 5 for 5. The exemptions to eligibility have spiraled out of control. When there's guys playing their 9th season, and there is a guy, I don't know if there's more than one, but the fact there's even one, there's something wrong. COVID, which made sense, come on. But it just got to the point, kids are going to court to sue for their 6th and 7th because of NIL money, and college football was turning into a profession for a lot of these kids. And I guess there's a sliver where I still look at it, not amateur. I mean, I knew amateurism was dead so long ago. That died before it ever became true, probably. But do your time, move on. 5 for 5, I love it. I have no issues. I don't see the dark side. I don't understand the bad. And if you get unlucky, should a guy that suffers 3 injuries be in college for 7 years? I don't think so. 5 for 5 I like. And the whole thing where coaches were playing kids in 4 games and they were the trash, 5 for 5. I think it's going to give coaches flexibility to play players, when to play players, unlimited playing of players now. No more, it's 4, but I don't know when. Oops, I accidentally broke the shirt, or I have no choice. 5 for 5. I think it's good for players who will play 5 years now. Yes, the top end players, 2 years in pro, but still, I don't want to hear about 6th and 7th, 8th and 9th year. If this holds up, we don't have to hear about the lawsuits for I deserve my 7th year. We need to take regional alumni judges adding eligibility to players out of my offseason. I would be a huge fan of that development, wouldn't you? 5 for 5. Again, with everything I'm about to say, unanimously approved committee proposals. And it's all logic-based. It's stuff we talked about. It would be great for the game, but I think we're probably 3 more committee approvals, 7 more reviews. Chancellors have to look at it, conference commissioners, ADs, and lawsuits. So 5 for 5. 2 ways the clock starts. 1, you enroll. 2, academic year after your birthday, sophomore year. There you go. Academic year after your 19th birthday. That has nothing to do with sophomore. Academic year after your 19th birthday. The other things, and I had seen this rumored and thought it was smart, changing how preseason camp works. Summer OTAs could be here. FBS schools would be allowed 27 days to conduct 21 training camps. And with this, you would do a late spring and summer OTAs. Late spring, summer OTAs. They want the NFL model. Fall camp would be less rigorous, and teams already don't hit in these camps anyway. And if you want to compare it to how things currently work, 31 days for 25. So there's actually 4 less training camps in the offseason, but they took them out because there's less days. See, 31 days currently are actually 27, and with the less days, there are less training camps. And they want to spread out fall camp and spring camp by using maybe a June. So the kids are broken up, less intensive lengths, where you could do a spring in April, June, and August. Think about it that way. April, June, and August. Each coach, we don't know what the perfect system would be, because with this change in the rules, someone would think about when do we need to spread them out. I think this would finally, because we already see them kind of going away, there'd be no spring game, because it would all be off-season OTA kind of things. So maybe no spring games at all with this. And again, how many spring games didn't happen this year? Schools were sprinting to the front of the line to kill their spring games anyway. So 27 days, 21 training camps. It'll be interesting. Preseason camps. Something else to understand this could set up. There's another proposal in the works, which is to start the season earlier, like week 0 earlier. And I think that would be step 1 towards starting the season earlier than that, because the movement of the calendar is to quit playing the national championship almost in February. Some want to start it on still go back to January 1st, having a New Year's Day national championship. I don't know of a calendar that we can move a college football playoff that's about to expand and still have the national championship on New Year's Day. That would be moving it by like 3 weeks. Because what was the current one, the 20th? This year's going to be 25. So I don't know if we can move 3 weeks. We'd have to start first Saturday in August. But if we move to week 0, we'll probably, maybe 3 or 4 years from now, move 1 more week from there even. And when would fall camp have to start? So if you start breaking it up, get used to summer OTAs, you can have a much shorter August to set up the season. This is all kind of step 1 of 3 to a final version. I think, see, believe. An evolution. Now, this same FBS committee proposal, transfer portal window. They just made a change. And this is one of the things about college football I've talked about. We don't know who the next dynasty is. We don't know who the next great coach is. And the reason why we don't know is we've not had 1 year of peace and calm. We've had no consistency. So no coach can build based on the rules because they change every year. So we just made the transfer portal window change. 15 days starting on January 1st. They want to change it to 10 days. And it'll be the first business day following January 1st. So, for example, if it starts this upcoming year, the portal would open on January 4th, first business day following January 1st, close on January 13th. So the new proposal is the transfer portal window, 10 days, not 15, first business day following January 1st. Now, if your team's still playing in the postseason, that doesn't apply to you. Once your season ends, you only have a 5-day window. I feel like this proposal won't hold up in court, and I just think it's an awful proposal. They want shorter. Coaches don't want the portal to be open so long. And everything that goes towards restricting player rights has gotten ruined in court. Going from 2 portals to 1 already restricted players. And the portal used to be like 3 weeks. They shortened it to 15, 2, and now they want to go 15 to 10. I get it. Everyone involved hates the portal, but you're going to go to the point where now the players are going to have a point, and you're going to go back to Wild Wild West. But I'm also going to say, let's take Lou's opinion of that out of the way. Having this, 10 portal. 2 teams got eliminated in the playoff. They have 5 days now. And then the national championship is over. These 2 teams now have all their players have a portal for 5 days. We're kind of having portal. Mini portal, mini portal, mini portal. Does that make sense to you? To have the bigger portal for 10 days, and then we're going to have 2 weeks of mini portals? Tell me why you don't have the portal, 2 weeks, call it 14 days. Why even 15? 2 weeks, 14 days, the day after the national championship. Why are they obsessed with this January 1st date? Why does the concept of mini portals make any sense in the world for only 2 teams? And why do teams that are currently in the national championship have to deal with portal at all? I don't follow that. And they still seem anchored to the concept of having portals during the playoffs. So that's what they'd like to do with the transfer portal. And all it is trying to shrink it because they hate it. And I think eventually that will cost them in court. So if you want to do 1 portal, fine. I think that could be dangerous, but whatever. So 1 portal, day after the national championship, 14 days, every team at the same time, the end. But I guess it makes too much sense. My bad. I take it all back. When we come back, let's wrap up our first hour together. This is the Louie Bellina Show Thursday. This is the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric. They do residential, commercial, and industrial services. They are CC Electric.
The Money Machine.
You are so money.
Back to school.
But you don't even know it.
Opens July 27th. Another chance to win $5K from The Zone.
But you do.
And the Louie Bellina Show.
We're going to wrap up inside the lifestyles portion of the Louie Bellina Show. This is kind of for entertainment. It was this list of health trends that are, and here's the word, starting to scare doctors and nurses. Because these health trends, how are they just starting to? Some of these 10 years ago, I figured would be scaring doctors and nurses, but starting. Vaping. The doctors and nurses say, hey, man, I can't pronounce doctory terms, so you're going to have to forgive me. But interstitial lung disease in 20 to 30 years, we have no idea what the long-term repercussions are. So vaping is the number 1 health trend that is starting. Ketamine. How is ketamine just starting to? How about we, and is that a health trend, ketamine? Okay, now here's one where the word starting. I remember in college that this was a thing. So how is this starting like 70 years later? Sleep deprivation and any energy drinks are just starting? Are doctors and nurses this far behind the curve that it's just starting 30, 40 years ago to scare them that, sleep deprivation and energy drinks are starting? Holy cow. Now the G1P drugs, and they wanted to be very clear. If you are a diabetic and your doctor tells you you need Ozempic or a Mounjaro, it works. If you're taking it only for that alleged weight loss help, That is really bad, and they're scared about that. This one comes from the starting category again. Nitrous oxide abuse. Anything with the word abuse in it should not be starting to scare you. Anything done in excess, anything, steak, pizza, should not be starting. It should be an automatic scare. There's one on this list. Okay, we're going to have to come back to it. We will. But e-scooters and e-bikes are starting to scare doctors and nurses. You know what they said? They get more. The emergency room visits are becoming insane with collisions due to e-scooters and e-bikes now. And the last three are classic, and we'll come back to that when we return.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center sells and service Polaris ATVs, Rangers, Razors, Global Electric Cars, Brutus, and the Polaris Slingshot. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone.